Two stranded young women unexpectedly knock on his door for help. What starts out as a kind gesture results in a dangerous seduction and a deadly game of cat and mouse. Architect and happily married man Evan Weber, Keanu Reeves, has the house to himself and his dog Monkey on Father's Day weekend due to work and a physical therapy appointment for a shoulder injury, while his wife and children go on a family-planned beach trip. His wife Karen, Ignacia Alamand, a successful artist, leaves their assistant Louis, Aaron Burns, in charge of her sculpture that needs to be moved to an art gallery for her show. Two women, Genesis, Lorenza Izzo, and Belle, Ana de Armas, knock on Evan's door during a rainstorm. Soaking wet, they tell him they are looking for the address of a party. As their phone is not working, Evan allows them in to dry off and use the internet to get hold of the party's host. They figure out that the party is in a different neighborhood, and Evan offers to order an Uber for them. The Uber driver will arrive in 45 minutes. He gives them robes so they can dry their clothes in his dryer. The girls make themselves at home and flirt with Evan. They talk about how Karen is pretty and that they must be having sex all the time. Belle talks about polygamy and that she wants to have threesomes with her future husbands to ensure he doesn't cheat on her. They are both flight attendants and consider nothing off-limits sexually, while he orders an Uber for them and plays a few of his old vinyl records from his days as a DJ. They then disappear to the bathroom when their driver arrives. Evan brings them their clothes and finds them nude. He tries to convince them to leave, but as they start forcing themselves upon him, he gives in and has a threesome with them. The next morning, Evan finds out that his wife's sculpture has been vandalized by the girls. When Evan threatens to call the police, the girls claim they are underage. Vivian, Colleen Camp, a friend of Karen's, stops by to see if Evan needs help. She is also a massage therapist and had come by for an appointment to work on Evan's shoulder. Seeing Genesis, Vivian angrily leaves. When Evan threatens to report a break-in, they give in and agree to be taken home. He then returns home, cleans the mess the girls have made, and tries to go back to his work. Just as he's getting closer to completing his project, he hears a shattering noise. When he stoops to pick up a broken picture frame of his family, Genesis knocks him out with one of his wife's sculptures. Belle climbs onto him in an attempt to arouse him while role-playing as a schoolgirl in his daughter's school uniform. Evan initially refuses, but the girls threaten to FaceTime his wife with him unless he agrees to do what they demand. He is tied to his bed, and Belle sexually assaults him while Genesis records everything, calling him a pedophile. However, Evan breaks free and knocks Belle to the floor. He charges at Genesis, but she stabs him with a fork. She and Belle tie him to a chair with an electrical cord. Louis arrives to collect the sculpture and finds Evan, but before he can help him, he hears the girls smashing the vandalized sculpture. He runs to stop them, but then has an asthma attack and realizes they have taken his inhaler. As he tries to get it back, he slips on a piece of the sculpture, hits his head while falling, and dies. The giggling girls turn Louis' corpse into a red sculpture and dig a makeshift grave in the backyard for Evan. They also use both Evan's and Louis' phones to text and make it look like Louis discovered that Evan had an affair with Louis' wife, and because of this, was murdered by Evan. The sadistic girls trash the house, torment and torture Evan, cut his hair, and force him to play hide-and-seek. When Genesis and Belle begin trying to find Evan, he escapes from the house, only to be stopped and held at gunpoint by Genesis. The girls tell him that they have killed other men and announce that he will die at dawn. At dawn, they tie Evan up with a hose, bury him in the hole, leaving only his head above ground, and tell him they will crush his skull with a large stone. It misses his head by inches, and the girls, laughing hysterically, then reveal that the entire ordeal was merely a game, as they never intended to kill Evan, nor are either of them underage, and that everything they did was part of a wicked hobby of seducing, victimizing, and ruining the homes of married men with children. Genesis shows Evan the video she recorded earlier with his phone of Belle sexually assaulting him. As Evan watches on, she uploads it to his Facebook profile. They depart for another victim and take Monkey with them, leaving Evan to his fate. Karen and the kids arrive to find the house ruined. Evan's son Jake says, "Daddy had a party.